Well, good morning or good night. What am I doing? It's 3:45. You could tell I just woke up. We are on a road trip. We have to make a stop in Illinois, and on the way back, Indiana. Got about an 8-hour drive. I want to sip my coffee, and hopefully by 4 a.m. I am on the highway. This should be very fun because, of course, like always, I'm alone. Yeah, look forward to taking you along with me. Well, a guy is in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and am I at an amusement park right now? We bought a car and the motor's locked. She's been off the road for 30 years, and today we're gonna crank on her, try to get her turned over by hand, probably break all the spark plugs, trying to get those out. It's bad. It's pretty bad. She's all original though. She's got the 350 rocket, 2-barrel though, not the 4-barrel. Dang it. Really want that 4-barrel. Yeah, we're just gonna dive right in. Probably break things along the way, but hopefully by the end of the video, we get this thing to turn over. Stay tuned. Okay, so while we are trying to get this car to start, I was looking for Eaton wires. We had meese in here. As I got up in here, we plugged in the cigarette lighter, so that's cool. On ignition, key on, we get blower motor, so we can make wind. It looks like everything is intact down here, but as I was looking, now we're not getting starter to engage with key. We are getting power to coil, but as I'm looking at this fuse panel, I noticed that this yellow wire was barely hanging on by these little, I mean, it was barely hanging on, so it was eating on. Clear evidence of that. So I went ahead, took apart the fuse panel, and because there was no length on this, so I gotta cut it back pretty far, heat shrink it, put it back together. I'll blow the mouse house out of that. And I also discovered e-brake switch, the buzzer switch is Where it's right there, brown and white, which is right here. So that's our e-brake switch, buzzer switch, lets us know our e-brake's engaged, which probably will snap when we press on it. This damn brake pedal's like stabbing my face. Of course it ain't moving, but I'm about to heat shrink this yellow wire back. Probably end up doing the e-brake as well while I'm here. And we have this brown wire coming out of this main harness here, and I haven't found out where it goes yet. But let me get repositioned, grab my things, and we'll be back. Okay, we are back at the fuse panel. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and get this connected. I still am not aware of where this brown goes, but it goes through that loop and it makes a connection here and it branches off. So it's giving power to multiple things, and I feel like it has to be connected. So I'm going to try to just connect these two to that one and go from there. Alright, so we got our wire fixed. I discovered that the brown wire actually controls all the front lights. It actually might control all the lights. I actually just, there's a chew mark in that yellow wire still, and all I did was just touch it to that. Now, my lights are staying on when keys off, switch is off. My marker light is on. I ended up putting this back where it goes. It's for the windshield wipers. Battery's been boiling. Put this positive wire on. And this light comes on. I actually unhooked it, but we could probably, here, let's do this. This is a pain in the ass. One good connection there, and that did not work. that. Purple and purple. I'm assuming right side, left side. I don't think it matters if I cross the two purples. Alright. We got green. I think green is switched because the green comes out of this. And I'm not sure what this even is yet. Seems to be like a junction box of some sort. Maybe it's a relay. But let's get back to the lights. Dark blue. And last one is light blue. Alright, so I got all of them cobbled together. I have the connectors to fix that. We still have to remove this tape. I just want to make sure, there's no cracked or brittle wires. We have stuff like this going on where it looks like somebody was jumping for power. And I think what that was from was the oil pressure and the voltmeter. Got them two red wires coming off, and it looks like I have a signal wire. I don't know where it goes. We're not even interested in putting that back yet. So yeah, I got them on. Oh, the battery's not on. How about that? We got sparks. And yes, we have one headlight, one marker. That headlight did turn on and then started smoking. Damn it. You know what that means. The wiring is all there. So I'm just going to assume that all these bulbs are bad. We don't have no lights in the rear, but we have signs of life. It is happening. I'm going to turn this off, actually. Turn these headlights off. But my marker light stays on. And I think it's that brown wire that's under the fuse panel that I have bridged to this yellow. I think now that that is disconnected, my lights will not work. So let's see if that's the case. I was wrong. Alright, so that brown wire triggers my headlights. This marker light is unknown at the moment. It could have been that yellow wire that I connected. I'm not really sure why it keeps staying on. I hear clicking when I hit the horn. I don't know if you guys can pick that up in the video. But yeah, something's happening. Blower motor does not work. Oh wait. And it did come with keys. Look at these old things. Door key and ignition key. Pretty cool. They were sitting in this car for a long time. I heard that starter try to engage, but ooh. Well, the blower motor did work. Wow. There might be a rat in there. Steering wheel's a little crusty. Huh, yeah. This is gonna need quite a bit of work. There's no glove box. Dang it. I knew that, but dang it. Obviously the old radio's no longer there. I can't tell if it was smoked in. Kinda hard to tell. I wonder if this key works. No, is it the ignition key? Jesus. Oh, it's the door key. Yep, and it locks. Nice. Alright, so our keys do work. That door lock is frozen. So I'll beat on that with a hammer and some WD-40. Steering is not hooked up. Ooh, yep. You know, regardless of what it looks like, the entire car is here. This seat is gonna definitely be sent off for reupholstery. Same with that back seat. Just like the Plymouth in there. New floor. Take a look at the frame, because we are aware of frame rotting away. Yeah, this body mount is gone. The entire trunk is gone. We have rot right here. And it's real bad right here. Actually, when I was jacking the car up, the whole front end was kind of, it was, you know, it was a little sketchy. Frame is gone. We're just gonna act like it's not there. Because we got ourselves a 70 Chevelle frame. It is a 4-door. Dang it. But we got a good deal on it. It is a rolling, solid frame, which, you know, we obviously desperately needed. It is a 70, and 68 to 72 A-body GM frames are all the same. This is a 4-door, so what that means is this body mount is 4 inches more forward than it should be. It should be 4 inches back. We're gonna break the factory seal here, break this weld. You know, we gotta delicately cut this weld with a razor wheel, which I might entertain having a shop do. But essentially what needs to happen is it needs to be put on a frame jig, and that connection will all get surgically separated. And the same with that. That side rail is one piece. They sell them. The plan is to remove these. Probably try to resell them, because, you know, they're not bad. That's just a little bit of surface rust, but we are going to get the 2-door version. It's 4 inches shorter. Have them buzzed in with a lightning stick, and the frame is going to go on that car. That is a ways away. We are going to end up sandblasting, epoxying. I have to disassemble the rear, the front. Right offhand, this ribbon right here, the steering ribbon, we need that. And that's the whole reason we kind of came over here to show you. It's actually disconnected on this side. It looks like somebody was on their way to robbing me of my power steering pump. It's just in there dangling. It's not even mounted. It is disconnected, but what happened is it actually ripped through. It ripped that ribbon, which is the dumbest thing in the world, I think. But yeah, so we got headlights already, one headlight, a marker light, we got our blower motor working. I did plug in the cigarette lighter. We are fixing wires as we go. I do have power to my coil. The motor did crank off camera. And what I'm about to do now, because I get a breaker bar on that, I'm going to try to break it loose. Which, if we can't, you know the drill. Pull the spark plugs, flood it with oil. WD-40, PB Blaster, Marvel's Mystery Oil, it doesn't matter what you got, pour it all in there, let it sit, eat up that stuck ridge in there, and then once we get this thing cranking over by hand, we'll pop in the, we'll actually leave all the spark plugs out, and we'll crank it over and get all that juice out of there. But we do want to break up whatever is stopping this from turning over. Throttle is throttling. That's great. Of course it's broke. That's a bummer. We do have oil. And I'm gonna have to put this back in there. Let's go ahead and check on this right now. I want to say it's low. A quart, maybe 2. We did not forget about the Plymouth. Don't even look at it. It's okay. Rear tires are locked. Front tires are... one or the other are locked up. It's either the front's loose and the back's locked, or the front's locked and the back's loose. We can go ahead and snag an eye on this oil level real quick, though. Yeah, it's about a quart. Quart low. But that's a good sign. No water. It would look grayish, milkshake looking. We have no radiator cap, but believe it or not, I see fluid, which is also a great sign. Transmission. Whew. Smells. It's old. That transmission fluid definitely needs replaced on. This is a numbers matching 350 gold rocket. You could tell by the gold valve covers. If I'm wrong on that, and anybody watching that knows more than I do, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe there's a blue and a gold rocket that came in these cars. Yeah, Mies was in here. Hello? Hello? Anybody in there? Ooh, we got water. Oof. Well, at least it's almost green. It's more like a black. So, I have a hose off of the 70 Nova because, unfortunately, the heater core in that started leaking after I tried fixing it. I made it worse. So we have extra hoses, which is very good, because we'll need to cover that with a cap or make the hose off the Nova fit in here. Yeah, here's some of that evidence of mice. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we can clean up our ground. That could be an issue right now with our lights not working. But for the most part, we're not chewed up. We do have a horn. Like I said, it's pretty complete. It's missing a few things that I'd want it to have. Like, I'd like that gearbox to be hooked up and steering arm. Yeah, let's go ahead and get a breaker bar on this crank. And if I read right, it's 1 1/8 crank snout bolt. No? No? Yes? Oh my God, we got it. Alright, now when I get hee-hawing on this and that bolt turns, that means we gotta hit the brakes. I'm really hoping I can get this thing broke loose. If a guy can get it on the bolt, and for the life of me I cannot get this to go on. Why? I'm tightening that bolt. That's not what we want to do. Pop the wires off, pull the plugs. Oh. Wow, I'm surprised that even turned for me. I gotta He-Man this off. Ugh. Yeah, that's nasty. Well, if a guy was cheap, and I am, I could just buy 3 spark plugs. But I know one of you, 2 of you, 3 of you are thinking, just replace them all. Why not? We want to shoot some oil down there. Very thirsty, are we? And I think that's it. And there's nothing left of that. It's okay. We have 30 empty cans. We'll get one of them filled. Oh, come on. Can you just go already? I'm gonna say that's good. Alright, so I came up with a solution. We were turning the crank bolt. We were turning the harmonic balancer bolt. So I have a tool that is not meant for this, so that means it's perfect. Love them ideas. We're gonna go ahead and snag all this stuff out of our way. We're going to pull both pulleys, fan, belts, radiator cover, and get my invention down on that harmonic balancer and really tug on this girl. Oh no, we're losing stuff. You know, I really like this car already. We got a shelf for parts, and look, you know how many parts we can put in there on the side of the road? How convenient. Ooh, yeah. These are usually blown out. Even these little tabs are usually gone. The rubber is actually sort of still pliable too. That's pretty neat. A little bit of surface rust. You know, like the rest of the stuff we work on, we'll blast it and shoot it, blow it right back on, and it'll be good as new. Radiator seems to be in very good shape. You know, no bent fins anywhere. Might want to take some air to it and blow all this stuff out of it. Yeah. Ugh. Alright. So, they make a crank rotation adapter tool. It's, it kind of looks like the harmonic balancer puller, but this is meant to throw a ratchet or a breaker bar on and crank. However, years ago we rebuilt the rear end in the Nova, and I needed to buy this tool here for the pinion bearing, I believe, in the rear end. We had to torque that down, and I needed this tool. And just by looking at it, we are about to find out. We know we have 4 bolts, and I believe we're going to be able to cobble something together here. Kind of. Let's see. Ooh, no. Those seem to be. Oh. I like that better. Nope, don't fit. Alright. Brainstorm here. Alright, we're just gonna go. We can't get 4, but we will use 2, and hey, 2's better than none, so we'll at least be able to get a bite on it. And this, so that's for a 1-inch, that's 1/2 inch. You just put a ratchet right on any of them. And I think we are going to be able to get this bolted up, throw my breaker bar on it, and just, see what we got, man. Searched my garage for an hour, and I came up with this. So these are spacers, washer for the outside. I'm gonna snag these on, try to get this on here. Probably do one at a time. And yeah, so that'll give us plenty of room. Alright. Whew. Felt my shoulder pop. So, that's how this works. It's kind of sloppy, though. I'm not gonna lie. That hole down there from use. Yeah, there's a lot of slop, man. We're not gonna really like that. But moment of truth right here. I think I'm gonna want to put this on there. Oh yeah, that looks so good. Oh yeah. Woo! Oh yeah. Guys getting excited now. Oh, Jesus. Oh yeah. Let's get one rotation out of this. Ow. God. We don't hear nothing popping or breaking or bending. Oh yeah. That seemed to be a tough spot, so I'm gonna go back and forth. Oh yeah. You can hear that air hissing out. So we may have compression. We will, if we get that starter to work and this wiring squared away, we will definitely be doing a compression test on this baby. So I'm going to want to get like a good 4 rotations out of this. And we're already there. Ooh, that's where it's tight. Back and forth. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Whew. We did it. Jesus. When we turn the key, we just gotta click. So, I got an idea on that. This is a pretty, I think everybody knows this. Just smack that solenoid a little bit. The battery terminals, I'm having horrible connection. So I am going to switch these cables. I'm hoping I have a ground that's the same length, or at least one that will make it from the negative to the ground right there. The positive cable, it's black, and the end is all, it's so much corrosion. Barely works with my tester there. Oh yeah, our connection's right here. If anything, this one's way longer than it should be. I mean, you got the fan right here too. So yeah, let's blow these off. What the terminals look like. Let's swing this back over. Yeah, that's pretty, all that corrosion there. I know we're not getting a good ground. The positive is no better. Pointless to show you. I don't know if that's half. That might be 9/16. Oh, it's half. I don't know why there's string tied to this. This battery cable was actually found in this little soffit inside the garage. Up in here, up there, car parts everywhere. The old owner, apparently, from other neighbors talking, had a Nova. And ironically, I found 2 separate pairs of front shocks, original Nova floor mats, a few battery cables, and I think there's even exhaust. The starter is the size of a 1-liter bottle of Pepsi. Probably weighs as much as 5 of those. So I really do not want to drop the starter, but we're gonna have to, because I don't have another terminal for this, and I'm definitely not buying one because we have car parts everywhere. This frame is so bad. I'll just go ahead and show you now. Yeah, that's very bad. Especially when you got a 500, 600 pound motor sitting in here. Ooh, bungee cord. Wow. I hope they didn't think that that was gonna hold that up. Oh my goodness. Why is this in here like this? I can't even see where it goes. That is strange. Huh. Yeah, let's put a bungee cord right here so the motor doesn't fall in the road. Wow. I did not notice that. We'll go ahead and look at the other side. Yep. No difference. And that is why we picked up a frame. I think it's safe to go ahead and put all of our stuff back on before we hit that starter. So I'll go ahead and speed things up. You've seen me take it off. It'll take me a minute to get it back on. But I'll have some fancy music for you, so don't go nowhere. We're not going to put power steering on. I mean, it's pointless. We got flappage. Hello? Hello? No one's home. Alright. So, this is sketchy. So, where them areas are rotted, this front end wants to droop down. So, I have to grab it right here and start jacking it up. And while I'm doing that, the body mount behind the lower control arm is kind of, you know, it's bending. So we want to kind of want to be a little careful here. Any creaking or cracking, we got to stop. And then immediately get a jack stand under here. It is definitely time. Oh, my AirPod. Definitely time for a death test. Okay. We're still gonna leave the jack under there. I got little people that depend on me. Oh, Jesus, dude. Oh my God. The starter is massive. And it does not want to come out. Maybe we can go this way with it. Come like that. Okay. Get my fittings. Now, we're doing all this in hopes that we get power to that starter. If that does not happen, we will we'll be cutting it short today. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, did it really go in the drain? Yes, it did. Thank God it's filled with dirt, because even if it did go down there, we could retrieve on it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wow. I really feel excited. Very happy. Alright, we want to test a few things. So, let's, oh, what am I doing? Getting too excited here. Okay, this is very good. Purple's power? Yes. I think lights are already on. Yep. Lights are on. Ignition is actually in auxiliary, which is what we need. This is somebody ran aftermarket gauges off of that right before the fusible link. We want to hit this coil and make sure we got power. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if we can get that to turn on. No. Wishful thinking. Alright. Oh! Uh-oh. What happened? We got it to move. That starter definitely engaged. What is happening? It's a little loose. Maybe that was it. I don't know why I closed the door like I'm about to go somewhere. Ho ho ho! Who's your daddy? Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? Let me out! See if we can see that PB blaster shooting out. Oh man. Alright. Before we throw spark plugs in, I actually want to do a compression test. So, let's go grab that. Alright, let me go jam on this key and see what happens. Huh. It's at 0. Wow. Well, I knew it. That is cylinder number 3, by the way. I'm just gonna keep on going through. I'm gonna just guess and say 25, 10, maybe 10. If the rings are worn completely, just by blowing the cylinders out, blowing all that oil out, I could already tell that we had no compression, because we were getting like smoke coming through the other cylinders, and we had smoke coming out the carburetor. So that could have been a valve open, but we switch it to number 1 and see what we got. I mean, at this point, it's just strictly for curiosity, because we already know it needs rings. Dang it. Man, I was hoping in the back of my head that these rings held up. Oh man. Now I can't get that other piece out. What is going on here? Ugh. Needle nose. Can't get my fingers in there to get it out. It's got that O-ring, and I set it a little too tight, but I kind of wanted to make sure that we didn't have no loss of pressure. And I'm gonna just go through. I don't know why. Like I said, it's strictly out of curiosity. If number 1 is blown through, then we'll go ahead and stop here. Today's mission was definitely accomplished, considering turn the key has this motor spinning. That was one of the most important things. There will be a day where we pull the block, open her up, and give her a fresh little rebuild on a budget. That'll be a mini series split off of the series for the Cutlass. I'm just gonna leave that hang out right there. Now we should build pressure. We're holding at 75 for cylinder 1. That's decent. The Nova's compression, at least with this tester, is right around 150. That's very healthy, I'd say. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and go to 5 and then 7. Might as well. We can get a good idea on what's going on with this motor, because you know, as of a couple days ago, we had no clue what was gonna happen, how far we were gonna get, if we were gonna even get this far. Can't go nowhere with the keys. Holding at 75 again. Well, cylinder 3 is down. Pop on over to 7. What is going on? Can't see what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is not working. All right, we got it now. $75. All right, so right bank, we got 1 cylinder down. And wouldn't that be something if it's only 1 cylinder down? We're gonna go to the left bank and see what we got over there. I'm back. All right. Cylinder 2. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's at 0. It's just turned to the side. Huh. Like 15. Not even 20. It's lower than 20. Alright, well, let me get over on this other side. Yeah. Kind of expected. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. We will be back on this car I'm gonna have to say that when we do come back to it, we are probably going to be addressing the rear end because it's locked up. We don't have to mess with that because the rolling frame that is going to be going on this car has a rear end on it. I believe this has a 10 bolt. I know the rolling frame has a 10 bolt. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you've been keeping up. If you're still watching and keeping, you know, up to date on everything, I appreciate it. Trying to get something going here. Yeah, till next time. Next video, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be back on the Plymouth Satellite. Kind of got a little excited with getting this car here and all, and you know, I really wanted to get that motor free. It would have really been nice to throw spark plugs in and fire it up, but we know better. Obviously, our little tester here tells us that that's not going to happen, but that's fine. Thank you guys for watching, and till next time.